10 seconds remaining.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to an AOC Pro Cup presentation of Game 3 between Zephyr and Everlast. This is a best-of-3 series between these two teams, and it has come down to this. Zephyr taking Game 1 very fashionably, but Everlast answering back with some amazing teamfight plays, and just drafting a very solid lineup that was able to bring so much more to the table than what Zephyr were prepared for. So, we'll see how well Zephyr will bounce back, if they're going to get their second wind, or if maybe Everlast has found their kryptonite. We'll see. But the draft has certainly changed. As we go through the best of 3, it's very common for prominent heroes from previous games to be banned out. We saw that in the Ember Spirit last game. Now, finally, we see it in the Doom from Zephyr. They do not like Superfly's Doom, taking it off the table and bringing in the Timbersaw instead. So it should be a pretty interesting game that has a very different feel to it. But starting things off, thank you guys so much for tuning in over here on Dota Talk TV 2 or in Dota TV. I, myself, and Blaze, joined by Congo Kyle. What's going on, man?
Hey, nothing much. I just want to apologize about the background noise. I know my roommate plays for one of the South African professional teams and he's practicing at the moment. So I do apologize about the... I did ask him very nicely to maybe not shout at his teammates, so you guys don't hear it. But yeah, I'm great to be back. And the Doom banouts and the first big Timbersaw, I mean, obviously you don't want to... I think they're tired of playing against Doom, for one. And secondly, yeah, Timbersaw and Doom don't really mesh that well together. Obviously, it shuts him down pretty hard. And I'm pretty keen to see the sexy Bamboo Timbersaw if he's going to put in that off lane, and them themselves picking up the Mirana this time. And like I said, I've been thoroughly impressed with Corey's play throughout these matches today, and I'm very keen to see his Mirana if it is going to be that safe lane farming Mirana. There are still a couple of options for them though. They can pick up that Bane to combo up with the Mirana. It does give you an extremely powerful lane in terms of making kills. So I'm really keen to see if they're going to grab that up there. Maybe just one other hero to combo up with the Mirana, something like a Rubik as well. Being able to steal Sanking, Impale, being able to steal Ancient Apparitions, Ice Blast as well. Yeah, there we go. They're going to go for the Rubik, so that's pretty fantastic. And we'll probably see who will play Rubik? Probably the Purge Rubik or the Eosin Rubik?
I'm not too sure. I mean, it definitely fits the set of heroes that Purge has been playing recently. I see him practicing a lot, and he's running a lot of Crystal Maiden, Shadow Demon type stuff, and Rubik is that kind of initiating support that works very well in the right circumstances. But Eosin has been able to make some really cool plays too, and obviously is pretty familiar with that Burrow Strike recently, so if he spell steals that, that's a pretty good one to do some work with. But it really depends on how they want to play this Mirana. And I've actually seen Zephyr a couple of times play supportive Mirana, so there is a good possibility of that, but even more so if Corey wants to just run on the hardcore Mirana that we saw last game, Daedalus, MKB, Lincoln Sphere type stuff, then that's just as formidable in that own regard. But yeah. Obviously, we'll have to see with these last two picks exactly how they're going to run it. Interestingly enough, still not picking up a Storm Spirit in this series. It went through to the 5th pick before Everlast picked it up last time around, and this time completely ignored. So I'm not sure if Blitz is just trying to practice other options, show that he can play different heroes. He's not an Admiral Bulldog in that regard, but it's interesting that they haven't found it really fitting to this point. Anyways, Clock is still in the pool if they want to go for that, but other than that, they're still kind of floating a number of different options.
This is some Puck Bombs. So you're talking about the Storm Spirits, and it's obviously synergy with Last Sealer, but they go for the Puck and the Puck Bombs. And there's the Darkseer again. We saw the Darkseer earlier today, so Zephyr going to go for the Darkseer, the off lane. So possibly Timbersaw mid versus the Puck, I would see. Possibly, I mean, Darkseer versus Puck is a little bit different. Obviously, the silence, and it's just irritating playing. Timbersaw I think can tank up quite nicely. Although Darkseer can do relatively well. I mean, Puck does have relatively long range in terms of attack, so not really that fantastic against Darkseer. Well, Darkseer not really that great against it, but Timbersaw on the other hand could have a fantastic time against the Puck, especially with the ability to maybe pick it off. Timbersaw mid is a bit risky because obviously you don't have the power of the trees in the lane to sort of kill most of the damage with the Whirling Death, especially, as well as comboing it up with the Timber Chain. So interesting as well. I mean, there could also be a Mirana, but yeah, it's once again a very, very nice team fight orientated draft coming out here from Everlast. They saw how well it worked from the last game and they decided this game as well. We're just going to brute force in massive team fights.
Yeah, that's the idea there. We'll see how it plays itself out this time without the Elder Titan. They won't get that damage amp up, and they will have to go for maybe a less formidable offlaner for their selection, but still trying to figure out exactly how things are going to play out. What Zephyr are going to pick up for their final hero. I'm expecting something like a Jakiro or maybe a Nyx, though. It's usually Bambo that runs that, and obviously they're not going to run the Darkseer and the Nyx Assassin. So, yeah. I don't know. I mean, as I say that, I'm looking at Timbersaw and Darkseer and seeing them both as viable offlaners, so maybe they're going to run one of those two in the mid. Maybe Blitz Timbersaw mid, I'm not too sure. But we do see that Everlast is going to have a 5th pick of Invoker, which adds a whole bunch of potential to what they're looking for here. Now, we saw earlier today the Wex Invoker and how powerful that can be with the AoE mana burn and such, and that can be a thorn in the side of Timbersaw, who relies on spell spamming, as well as Rubik and Darkseer, who have pretty hefty mana costs on some of their spells. But beyond that, I'm not too sure. Oh, wow.
Oh, yes.
That is, yeah.
This it makes actually Zephyr's draft now kind of plays into the hand of Everlast. Like, they could now go aggressive against the dual lane. I mean, they do have naturally, I mean, Sanking 2 sort of melee heroes, but Lifestealer can sort of he can handle his own in an aggressive offlane. You got the Ancient Apparition there as well, is relatively weak, but if they want to, they can go for an aggressive. But Superfly picks up the Lifestealer, so it's a bit strange. But Aosin on the Enigma easily, you know, one of the fastest jungling heroes, the fastest jungling hero, if not. And with Doxy on the team, he's not really limited to rushing that mechanism pretty early. So Blink BKB probably going to be the flavor here for Aosin. But at the same time, they've got a Puck and they've got the Sanking. So, and they've got I don't know. It's a bit of a strange pick to go into Invoker, especially since Invoker at the moment is going for that Quas Wex kind of build. So Tornado, the distance he can get, can really shut down Aosin. But from what we've seen in the past, Aosin has no problem farming up quick items. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does go straight into that BKB first. Go straight into that BKB first, and then allows them to really dominate the team fights. And we'll have to wait and see. But probably introduce the players.
Alright, starting over on the side of Everlast. It is going to be, starting off with Blue, Naki is going to be running the Sand King once again. That's going to leave the Lifestealer to be played by Superfly, the Doom from last game. That is going to be the Invoker, BSR, Bunksel Roti. Going to be going on the mid lane, being pulled up 2 Tangos. Then we do have over in the Ancient Apparition supporting up, it's TNT. And finally, Puck is going to be offlaning via Solotic.
And over on the side of Zephyr, we've got Aosin looking to go into just a night creep in the middle lane, but head to the jungle. Aosin on the Enigma, Blitz on the sorry, mixing up my NA players here. Blitz on the Timbersaw. We've got Corey on that farming Moran, excited about that. Rubik being played by the Purge, and of course in the off lane, it's the trolly sneaky player. It's going to be Sexy Bamboo on that Darkseer.
So he's already got that Dire Ward in place. It's going to help him a lot as far as surviving. Right now, the range of initiation on Sand King isn't that formidable, and Lifestealer's Open Wounds pretty much has the same deficit at early ranks. So it does mean that Sexy Bambo is going to be able to play very aggressive, and it does mean that he's going to get a lot of experience to move in towards better ranks in Vacuum sooner, which is very important. As you mentioned, that early build-up on the Enigma, I expect him to have a must-have BKB. Not sure if it's going to be before Blink or before Mech, but certainly within the first 25 minutes of the game, he needs that BKB in order to be able to guarantee that spell, because that Invoker pick, that Puck pick, those have 2 to 3 different ways to cancel out TP very early on, and that's, or not TP, channeled effects is what I meant to say, and so that's a very important thing, that they start off on the right foot and actually make their team fight worthwhile. But it is indeed going to be an Exort Invoker, and that's going to make it harder for Timbersaw to go directly on the lane. He's going to have to put maybe a couple points in reactive armor up sooner, because the auto attack damage of Invoker is just going to be extremely potent.
Yeah, you know, a while ago before the change to Timbersaw, he would actually comfortably say that he would beat Invoker in the middle lane.
Oh, and actually bottom lane. Didn't think Sexy Bambo would go this far out, but indeed he has, and it's cost him. They de-warded his Observer Ward here, and he just overstepped his bounds, so they were able to go in. He went for some aggressive Iron Shell plays, and they severely punished him for it.
It's back immediately with the TP scroll, so not wanting to miss out on it. He does pick up Surge now, level 2, so that was a bit unfortunate there, noticing that he didn't have the Surge and went on him immediately. But yeah, middle lane I think it's gonna be okay for beaters. I mean, he hasn't had a horrible time so far against the solo mid, but it's BSR and Invoker now, and we have got the lifestealer being played by Superfly, who was the last sort of solo mid. The offlane Puck, I mean, unless it's an extremely great Puck player, extremely confident Puck player, it's usually very difficult for Puck to play in the offlane. But it is up against a dual lane, so you shouldn't have a terrible time in this matchup at all.
Again, with Sexy Bamboo, like every time I look at what you're talking about, this guy is going the craziest places. I hate to interrupt you, but it's just like, what?
No.
What the heck?
It's Sexy Bamboo, man. Balls to the wall data. Everyone knows that.
Forcing the experience one way or another. I'm going to take your jungle creeps 50-50. But no, I don't know. He's just trying to pull some shenanigans, distract us with some supports, make it so they can't stack at the timing that they want to, I guess. I don't know. It's very interesting that he's pulling this off. But on the top lane, I think Puck is just trying to mirror the throw-tastic play, because these are kills that shouldn't necessarily happen without arrow being used at the very least, and Puck is just kind of handing it to them in that regard.
There's a little bit of action middle as well. When BSG went on blitz with a cold snap, didn't look to use the Sunstrike though. But with 2 levels in reactive armor, it's so difficult now for him to harass blitz out of the lane, and not getting a level in the timber chain naturally, since there's no trees for him to jump to. So it does allow him to get the couple of levels in reactive armor, and give him a lot of sustainability in this middle lane to just face off against the Invoker and get the sort of necessary levels that you need on the Timbersaw. But at the same time, the kill top, I was busy watching mid because I thought there was going to be a kill on the Timbersaw, but what exactly happened? Did he just run into get telekinesis and
he uses orb offensively, and he's a Puck that can't, in offlane situation, can't do that. He gets telekinesis up immediately. They burst him down with Starstorm, and he just wasn't able to really accomplish anything. It just was very awkward and a very unnecessarily aggressive play.
Yeah, it's been unfortunate, but I'm now watching bottom lane most of the time because I want to see what Sexy Bamboo is going to do next.
you got to go back and forth. One goes crazy and does something unnecessary and rash, but then the next guy does, and the next guy does, and you just keep alternating.
But double damage now on Blitz in the middle lane, so it's going to help him catch up a little bit on the farm. 15 CS though, out-farming the Invoker only by 1 though after this wave.
Even so, that's not too bad. I mean, like I said, he needed those 2 points of reactive armor with the Stout Shield to really make that work, but now he has found his own where he's able to draw even on CS to an extent, and that is very good for him considering the Invoker went Exhort and has a very substantial amount of right-click damage, and even will snag the rune away from the Puck, which is even better.
Top tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, rune control as well comes into play when you look at a hero like the Timbersaw, being able to clear the creep wave right before the push and put it onto the high ground, which we kind of saw him do right there. But I think it's going to be a very quick Bloodstone coming out here for Blitz if he continues with this sort of momentum in this middle lane. And at the same time, Puck is, he hasn't got the bottle. If he is going to go for that in the off lane, I'm not too sure. Since Invoker won't be able to get runes, and we never really ever see a bottle on Invoker ever. But at the same time, I mean, bottom lane, we've got quite a little bit of damage going here onto Superfly in terms of Iron Shell, but he has picked up his phase boots now, so he's able to do a little bit more right-click damage and farm comfortably sort of under his tower, which he's kind of left to do right now.
That's actually an interesting point, is that he opted for the phase boots here. Most of the time when you're facing a Darkseer and you're like, oh, this Iron Shell is so annoying, I'm melee and I can't farm without taking some form of harassment, you just go for an early Midas. And Lifestealer, in turn, is a hero that very frequently picks up a Midas to get early levels, to get extra farm, and of course because he naturally benefits from that attack speed. But interestingly enough, Superfly is going to go for that phase drum build-up, which, although not uncommon, is just peculiar because he is up against that Darkseer. So it indicates to me that Superfly's stance on the game is that it can't end soon enough, that they want to start being aggressive, start getting kills with him and the Puck as soon as the Puck has Blink Dagger, really. But unfortunately, of course, for solo tech, that's going to take some time. Yeah,
and 3 heroes in mid now smoked up here. They're going to try to go on the Timbersaw. He has 1 level in the Timber Chain actually with the 6 up now.
Blitz in the mid lane, big damage coming out. That is just too much for him to deal with. The Burrow Strike setting up, while dissipated, still a very formidable Sunstrike, and it's a 3 versus 1 he wasn't prepared for. But while they're rotating, Sexy Bamboo knows that he can play aggressive, will finish off his Soul Ring, and Superfly has nothing to regenerate his HP. As soon as he hits level 6, he'll drop a big infest on the creep that was just Iron Shield, most likely. But for right now, it's him being completely unsupported on the lane.
Yeah, and as well, I mean, the Invokers went for an extremely, I would say, odd build.
Top lane. This should be a kill on Purge, but they will pop the Moonlight Shadow. Sunstrike, not going to hit. And Purge will be able to walk away.
As I was saying, like, he's gone for a very sort of, I won't say an orthodox build, but he's gone for sort of a 1-1-4 in Exort. So he has got those levels in Blast, he has got those levels in, you know, the Meteor as well. Pretty strong for the Meteor too, doing a lot of right-click damage here to Blitz. So very interesting skill build here from the Invoker. Interested to see how it pans out. But he's got the Midas now, so mostly, well, one thing I noticed about the sort of Exort Invoker is you are usually going to go for the Hand of Midas when you're going for the Exort, because you do need those levels, and you need to really accelerate your levels into your experience into the mid game to really get up to, like, you know, get that quick level 12, level 13, level 14 as well. So yeah, going for the Hand of Midas, and at a relatively good time as well. You should have the other component flying out right now. Actually, yeah, Gloves of Haste are making their way out.
Yeah. Not too bad. I guess I didn't want to go for too many Midases. Picking up one on the Invoker kind of coordinates the fact that they don't want to be too disadvantaged when it comes down to around that 10 to 15 minute mark where so many game deciding fights can occur. So if you are committing so much to long-term investments in the fact that you're doing it for two different heroes at once, two different lanes at once, then it can certainly hinder your potential to go for those fights. I can definitely understand that, and that's a reasonable perspective to take, but we do see Superfly is going to go for that Armlet Rush to follow his Phase Boot, so he's going to be hitting hard, really hard, and have some really good innate survivability with that Armlet. I mean, it's one of the most perfect items for him, so good to see it at an early stage in the game where it can be put to most use, but even so, we'll have to see if they can actually really make those kills without the Puck having the fastest Blink Dagger. Yeah.
And also the change to Armlet's pretty interesting as well, especially now in Life Stealer with the sort of incremented HP regen kind of thing. Because it's weird, like increment HP. So nice change. And I think especially for a hero like the and the toggling abilities now you get for the new Armlet as well. But looks like they're trying to go on 60 MP. Use Surge. It's level 2, so it's got relatively long, 4.5 seconds. So he should be able to get way out of the way here. But he's kind of been shut down as well. I mean, you're talking about the Puck not going to have a good timing on the Blink Dagger. Himself is actually not doing that great if he is going to rush straight into that mechanism. But have a quick look at Eosin.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to go for mech.
Okay. Oh, yeah, fine. He's gonna struggle. I'll tell you one thing. He's gonna struggle a lot when it comes to team fights, especially with that Invoker now. Although he's not going for Quas Wex, which he probably might have wanted to. I think they're gonna struggle a bit. Oh, the Sunstruck middle lane.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of a bit of a back and forth from all angles here. I mean, Sexy Bambo's trying to man up, actually getting some decent farm with this most recent Iron Shell, but Blitz kind of going aggressive here now that he has the ward vision, knows when TPs are being placed. In fact, if you look at the Sentry ward and the Observer ward placed by the Dire, it's a great counteractive aspect where they were able to pseudo-predict that there was, actually a gank coming in with the Chakra to start it off. That is going to be a Maledict, but no. Puck comes in with the ultimate, and Blitz is in a bad spot. Luckily outside the Sunstrike's range, but not far enough to get out of those auto attacks. In fact, Eosin, right under the tower, is TPing away. He just can't get out of there soon enough. Yeah, and this is quite strange. I mean, I'm just thinking at the sort of the favorites for this game was Zephyr, and they're not that they're struggling already, but it's just I think Everlast have this momentum now that's going to be really, really hard for Zephyr to play against. I mean, they won game 2 pretty convincingly, and I mean they played so fantastically as a team, and now they pick another lineup that's sort of very, very team fight oriented as we reach to the mid game with the epicenter, with the Ice Blast, with everything really. And now, yeah, they have this sort of urgency about them to just make things happen. And although there was a sort of a counter TP to the middle lane to help out the Invoker, still fantastic play once again. And man, I think we're going to be in for an extremely exciting third game here. Yeah, trying to hold on. Zephyr are going to put some push pressure on the top lane here. Puck has only so much that he can do. He did put actually a mix of his skill set. And meanwhile, Ancient Apparition's Ice Blast is enough to bring down Blitz. He went up in kind of no man's land and does get hit up by too many nukes, too many stuns, and one big Ice Blast to the face to finish him off. So that's actually, yeah, pretty unfortunate since that is his third death as a solo mid. He's a level 8 hero that's just giving experience to the enemy, and we're going to see that advantage take hold very, very early. But actually, turn around on top lane, the TP coming in. Oh, from the Sand King. Great Burrow Strike onto Eosin. The Sunstrike as well. Eosin's gone, and although there was a good steal on the Dream Coil, it's not going to do much more than lock them in place and skirt Mirana away. In the end, they get the deny, they get the pick off on the Enigma, and I gotta say, that was a great turn of events for them.
And as well, I mean, that was actually a pretty quick mech coming out there from the Enigma. I actually saw the components on in his inventory, but now picking up the mech, and helped him out there, but no boots obviously getting picked off there. Good Sunstrike coming out as well from the Invoker, and he's actually having a pretty fantastic time himself. 2,100 gold, probably going to be a 4-star coming up in a moment. And on that note, 11-minute phase boots armlet coming out for the Lifestealer. So far things are going fantastic for Everlast.
Yeah, really can't say enough about how well they're doing. 72 CS on the Lifestealer, top of the charts for sure. And now with that armlet finish, he just dishes out helpings of damage that Sexy Bimbo has to be worried about. Like, anytime Open Wounds hits, he's popping Surge, and if there's a Sand King to follow that Surge with a Burrow Strike, you actually might be able to lock him in place. So you just have to do a couple of good body blocks, and that's an instant kill. On top of that, now they've got the Ice Blast, which is an extremely early time, to be honest, and that comes down to some of the Blitz picks. But yeah, we see Surge going aggressive. Big mistake from Sexy Bambo. They at least have Dream Coil, and they will use it here. So this is guaranteed Dead Man Walking, committing a lot of spells unnecessarily.
Everything.
You know, you just gotta, you pop that.
Kill's a kill.
Oh, and now on Blitz, damage coming in from that Meteor, the Cold Snap, the right clicks, and that's another kill. This is really bad for Zephyr right now. 0-4-0 on a hero that generally is praised for his tankiness, his durability.
Yeah.
That is very unfortunate. And of course, yeah, his Timber Chain, he can't just jump to a tree in the middle of a Cold Snap, and that's a matchup disadvantage. But in general, it's just we don't see really rotations from Zephyr towards the mid on the supports other than the Enigma, which he was kind of there cheering him to dive into 3 people. So as a result, Blitz has been falling left and right, and Everlast couldn't be happier about it.
Yeah, when this game started, I mean, he was farming pretty great in that middle lane up against the Invoker, and I thought, well, here comes an OP Timbersaw with a very quick Bloodstone. But obviously these pickoffs are just really going against him right now. So we're going to have hopefully not a long pause. Hope it's not one of the cursed internet cafes.
It seems like it's just a mouse issue, but he did disconnect out for it. I don't know.
I remember the one game I casted once a while ago. There was actually like a flood or something. But yeah, we don't want to. Hopefully no more internet cafe problems, but the mouse problem will be fixed relatively soon. Have a look at Invoker. Look at these items.
BOT's up. Yeah, I mean, this is all about right place at the right time, experience advantage Dota. I mean, he has all the tools he needs. We saw that Cold Snap and Meteor do work on the mid lane, since he did go for 3 quads and it looks like 6 Exhort. He has a huge amount of kill potential just by himself, and certainly with some allies. So moving in, using the Midas and the kill advantage 3-0 and 2 to top the charts in both net worth and levels. All he needs to do is be at the right place at the right time. So this is BOT's perfect opportunity to come into effect, especially at only the 13-minute mark.
And on that note as well, Puck picking up the 13-minute Blink Dagger too. So Puck bombs incoming.
Yeah, that's a really big deal. Dangerous for Zephyr. They really need to pull a rabbit out of the hat to even come into drawing even in this mid game. Like, this early game has just gone from bad to worse, and they need something huge. They do have the mechanism. They can handle a little bit of burst here and there, especially if Enigma gets some boots so he can be in the fights more actively. In fact, they're TPing down. He's still bootsless, but they are going to go in without smoke, just trying to hold the position. But you look at this Observer Ward, and they've already been spotted. Purge at the very least, possibly Eosin as well. So they know that something's coming. Sexy Bambo still baiting as best he can, and well practiced in that regard. But it just, I don't know, they're not falling for it. They knew at least one was there. Now they see 3. And that is just not going to be effective enough. They actually sentry it down. They knew what their opponents knew, and they were able to at least get a D ward out of it, but just wasting time with the gank, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I don't really see what they were going to be able to achieve in that bottom lane as well. I mean, you're up against Lifestealer, actually quite tanky. If you do get a Black Hole down, he's probably not going to die. I mean, you don't really have damage output coming from a Rubik as well as a Darkseer. And top lane, Corey going to get brought down here with a nice Ice Blast as well as Dream Coil. Good
call. Yeah, just committed his full arsenal there. The Blink Waning Rift is going to become an ever-present threat, and we're going to have to keep our eye on more and more on this little Fairy Dragon, especially if Superfly joins up with him. Popping the Rage to avoid the Maledict. We are going to see the Burrow Strike, and that is 1 dead Enigma. And the only steal that they got out of it was an open wound, which doesn't accomplish too much. So, yeah, they are just in a desperate position. They are in a defeated state of mind, and they have to really, really get something going for them. They got the top tier 1, but I think that was denied, and it just, it looks bleak. Although, once again, surprisingly, the gold graph isn't that bad. They started out with a significant gold advantage and only lost that just recently. So
it is strange that they somehow managed to hold on to these gold advantages, even though they're losing 9-1. So I mean, I guess it's up to Corey once again. 91 CS on a bottom.
Yeah, it definitely helps that he's got 91 compared to Lifesteal's 92, but it's just the defining fact that they had a hardcore jungler. I mean, the Sand King kind of a jungler, but Enigma in the jungle is so much more. Bursting hard onto Sexy Bamboo. He's dead before he even hits the ground from the Burrow Strike, and all Corey can do is arrow and walk away. He will be picking up a Lincoln Sphere at a relatively good pace, finding himself right now at 6,500 net worth, but these picks just keep coming through, and it's costing them more and more each time.
Well, he doesn't have the ultimate orb yet. It's 50-60 minutes in, so he's probably looking at about a 21 minute Lincoln Sphere, which is it's relatively late, but he did go for the Midas as well as the phase boots as well. If he had skipped the Midas, he could have maybe just got phase boots into Lincolns as well. But yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. Once again, as you said, Zephyr 10-1 at the moment, and the goal definitely going to start swinging now that the tower tier 1 goes on. Yeah, quick little boost, big experience boost as well for Everlast. 4K experience lead for them, and Invoker now with his BOTs as well as the Forge Spirits coming out. So Necrobook Gaming, maybe.
Perhaps.
Is that popular in SEA? It's
not really, honestly. I mean, it wasn't that popular before the nerfs, and then since they've been nerfed, I haven't really seen them but twice. But you see the Infest inside Puck. He's going to jump right on top of Sexy Bamboo, who just soul ringed. This should be an easy kill. Going in, he tries to surge away, but he's locked in place. Again, no TP scroll, and just goes for a little bit of a ring around the rosy before he does take a fall once again. And I was looking at bad kill score, now 11 for 1 in favor of Everlast, with 2 of the deaths being on, or sorry, with 8 of the deaths being on 2 heroes. Yeah,
that's a little bit of a feeding frenzy, but that's not the end of the world. I mean, who has the other 4 deaths? Oh, Bamboo, Bamboo, Bamboo. But at the same time, I mean, they're I don't know, they can't take team fights now, especially with Blink Dagger up on the Puck, Blink Dagger up on the Sand King, who actually hasn't taken a point in his ultimate just yet, waiting for that level 9, and trying to go for a little Blink stun there, but missing unfortunately on Blitz. I don't know why I keep wanting to say beat it, so it's missing on Blitz. And yeah, it's weird, sorry. It's my South African brain. But at the same time, Corey just not giving up. He's doing what he does best, and he's Storm here in the top lane and putting a little bit of pressure onto the tier 2. And in a sense, he's really trying to get that, Ice Blast.
Okay, did at the very last second. And actually, if that Puck had been a moment sooner, or if he had his Dream Coil cooldown, that would have been really bad for Corey. But leaps and bounds ahead, he will be able to go in full retreat, but they are still really just in a desperate position. They need a gigantic black hole. They need some crazy steals from Purge. I don't know, but it really has to be something incredible, because Sand King has his Blink Dagger. Puck has been using his quite effectively, and this Invoker is getting farmed so hard. Look at this Invoker's gold.
I know. I would go straight south of us. Screw anything else. South of us, right up there. Really shut out the Timbersaw. I mean, this Invoker has been insane, BSR, and you know, I once again, like I said, I hate doing this kind of analysis, because one, I'm not a professional analyst, I'm not a professional player, but I find Everlast's draft is just so much stronger. They kind of picked themselves, Zephyr picked himself into a little bit of a what can I say, a kerfuffle here. Well, in terms of yeah, it's just like there's synergy, yes, but there's so much to go against it as well. I mean, there's Puck, Dream Coil, there's Silence, and another kill is going to go.
Oh wow, with that Sunsword connecting, it might be a double here. Gonna go orb away though. He should be able to jaunt free, but even so, that was Just great. I mean, this is what all they need is just a quick blink, lock him in place, and land an easy Ice Blast. I mean, when they're Dream Coiled up and they don't have a BKB, it's a guaranteed Ice Blast. In fact, now going for a Blink Burrow Epi right on top of the Darkseer. He does have Max Vacuum, but doesn't get the chance to use it. It's just too much forthcoming, and they are getting picked off left and right. And going back to what you were talking about, oh wow, Necro 3 instantly. Just right-clicks it, bam, suddenly minions everywhere. And now finding Eosin. Unfortunate, but Tier 1 will certainly fall. Possibly the Tier 2 at this stage, but we'll see. But yeah, as you were talking about, the sheer fact that they ran this draft and they really needed the Enigma to get farmed fast, that happened relatively uninhibited, but they knew that he couldn't contribute. So the Puck was able to, in turn, get something out of it by, finding that early enough Blink Dagger. Only one misplay on his part. That's why he's 0-1-7. But the fact is, they didn't get much rotation to help out Blitz. He was on his own against Invoker, and like I said, I didn't think that matchup favored him very much, though. He did pull out some CS. He still ended up dying far too many times to make that worthwhile. And the final thing was Sexy Bambo. I think it comes down to play more so than draft. I think the Darkseer was a good pick, a pick that should survive, but because they dewarded him, suddenly he's blind and not playing like it. He's playing like he has the third eye open when honestly he's just human. He just has those two, and he really did not perceive the situation as it should be. Now we do see a Blink Burrow infest. Blitz is gonna fall if he TPs. So he actually too much magic damage, just too much.
No, the magic, just the right click coming out from the basher on Superfly. Yeah. 21 minutes, armlet basher. I mean, he's probably had it for a while now, but still, that is absolutely insane.
Oh my.
And at the same time,
Corey in a bad spot too. I think they might be able to get out, but even so, he still gets hit by the Ice Blast. If the Sunstrike hit him, that would be like, oh no, the Surge, okay. If he didn't get Surged there, oh my. How big is that Sunstrike right now? 475, that would have done it, 100%. I wasn't sure how many points he had in Exhort, but damn, that would have been a very, very unfortunate one. But yeah, he's been maxing it out, and if that Surge hadn't connected, that would have been, I don't know, I'd rage GG right there. Like, that's just so sad.
Dire's bottom tower is under
attack. Child him off, but he hasn't even used a Necro book yet. Oh, okay.
Blitz gonna drop down, but they actually surmount a fight. They're gonna go for a huge black hole. Do they have any follow through though? The orb will do a lot of damage. They will pick up 2. They will pick up 3. Going for a 4th one as Bungsa Rochi gets stunned up by the Maledict. You were looking for a miracle, and we give you black hole. Eosin dropping it, but now the Ice Blast not gonna hit. Beautiful execution from Zephyr. That Blink Dagger. The timing was great, and the overextension from Everlast has, you can't blame them. The way they've been playing this entire game has been extend to get kills, but now we see that the shoe is on the other foot, and we do see a bit of a turnaround. Getting 5 kills and forcing a buyback. But
4 more of those, and they'll be back in the game.
Exactly, like they're so far behind that you love to see it, and it's beautiful to call, but I'm just not sure if it actually brings them back into this game. It's a step in the right direction, but we'll have to see.
It's yeah, like I said, a few more of those and they should be back. And I mean, Morana was there. Morana managed to pick up a kill as well. And yeah, a 5-man team wipe, and that's exactly what they need. I mean, I guess Everlast were getting a little bit too overconfident. I mean, like I said, they're playing with an absolute momentum at the moment and staying relatively far ahead. And
quick Skype dropout. So he might be talking in game, and I apologize for overlapping there, but. Yeah, essentially, right now, the Eveson is in a position where he can do that, but the question is whether or not he will, because as we talked about in the draft, there's just so much going for. Actually, Sexy Bambo is going to hit by the epicenter, but the Sunstrike is not going to hit. However, digging a tunnel into the tree line, he will be able to blink away. Very, very successful jukes, if you can even call them that. But what we were talking about, the Enigma really needs to get those black holes on the deck as much as he was before, but does he even have the possibility? Oh, and Waning Riv coming out. Solitic is out of orb, but it's going to be coming back up in 3 seconds. Can they do enough damage? Yes, the arrow will secure the kill.
Yeah, so it's go time now for Zephyr. They're like, okay, we've had enough. They've had their fun. Let's go. Let's wreck them. And Purge actually just ran into the AA as well as the... well, it ran into the AA in Puck and just got silenced and pretty much destroyed. Correct. But can you hear me?
Yeah.
Skype call kind of sound like a drop there for a second.
It did indeed, so that's why I kind of took over from there.
Okay.
But
no, it's fine, no problem.
Sounds fine now.
Yeah, it's perfect now. But at the same time, I mean, Invoker now with that Blink Dagger up, he got caught out in that last team fight in the black hole. So it's all problems maybe for Bamboo in the middle lane. No, never mind.
No. But I'm not 100% optimistic about this. Of course, it's nice to have a breath of fresh air here from Zephyr that they can really bring the herd and bring their kills score above 1, but it's by no means the game winner. They still have a long way to go. Superfly finding his Abyssal Blade and happened upon a little fishy courier there in the process, so he'll be able to take that down no problem. But it's a Dragon Courier. I'm thinking of the wards. Anyways, but the one big problem that they still have is Eosin and his BKB. That is so delayed right now. And until he gets it, there's no way to guarantee that black hole. Like last time, he got lucky. They grouped up, they got overextended and over-aggressive. But now, you're up against the Dream Coil to cancel. I don't think the Waning Rift will usually, unless he positions his black hole really weird. But they still have the Cold Snap, the Tornado, the Deafening Blast from Invoker. He has a Blink Dagger, mind you, so he can really set that up. And then, of course, the Burrow Strike coming in from the Sand King. They have a lot of different ways to cancel this out. And it's really going to be on Eosin to find another perfect one before this BKB comes out, because waiting for a BKB may be too late. Either way, they're going to go for the smoke down bottom lane, walking right past an Observer, which gives Everlast a little bit of a false sense of security in ganking Corey right here. This is going to be looks like a 4v1, instead going to be a 4v5. We'll see who starts it off. Purge going to go for the lift up here on the Sand King. Can they get the chain disables? No, he's going to force staff away. And this may just be a full retreat. They didn't have enough lockdown.
Yeah, actually maybe problem still for TNT as they do go in. Yeah, he's going to get put out here.
Oh, nice scout out there, finding out the Ancient Apparition in the tree line, but Puck looking to maybe come in. Blink disabled though, and is going to have to just orb jaunt away. Oh, Burrow Strike coming in on Blitz, who went pretty ham with the follow-through on the Timber Chain, but in the end, they're just trying to dissuade them away from towers. They don't want their opponents to get gold, but that's the third tier 1 dropping, and they are not stopping. 30 seconds where the Ancient Apparition is not up, and doesn't have buyback, wouldn't really be able to do much with it. But now we see coming in, Puck trying to burst down Eosin before he can become of use. There's going to be some initiation with the Lifestealer. Abyssaling up on Eosin. He's going to drop down. The lift of the Sand King will get a return kill, but will it be enough? The wall, the vacuum doing some damage. But again, just no follow through. And they have to let them walk away. This is bleak, but at least they have the Darkseer Illusions to push on the tower if that Bambo wanted to micro them that way. Either way, they're tanking it, but they still have a long way to go to bring down this tower. And yeah, it looks like they have to just get out of dodge at this stage.
Yeah, that was a fantastic vacuum into the wall. Imagine they had the Enigma there, but Enigma obviously getting caught out there. I feel Enigma was maybe a little bit out of position. I mean, he sat very far forward. He was round about here, trying to push a little bit of damage on the tower, and then got cold snapped and abyssal. So that was very unfortunate for him to be so far back. I was waiting for the Sand King blink in, but didn't use the epicenter in the last team fight. I don't know if it was not on purpose or just felt that they could maybe get away from this and maybe pick up a couple of kills first without being effort.
Oh, no. Blitz! That's unfortunate. He's gonna have to suicide if he even can. Won't get the opportunity. Just dead. And you can't blame him for going for the rune, but you have to give props to the Sand King. Naki just setting up the perfectly timed Blink Burrow to bring him down right before he picked up the rune. But they're still going to go in. This is the time that's really their least expected, and maybe the time that they are at their strongest. Moonlight shadowing in. Sea Lifestealer going to try to go for a lift up on him. Maybe just a soul black hole. I don't know. They blink. They show themselves, but they don't do anything, and I'm not really sure what the objective was. I like the movement. I like the gusto they brought with the quick respawn of Timbersaw via Bloodstone. They really thought that they could do something, but then they look at it and they say, oh wait, he's a Lifestealer and he's got an ally or two nearby, and they can't commit.
At the same time, I mean, the goal graph is actually dropping quite a bit now. It's back down to about 2,500 in favor of Everlast, but and the same for Experience too. But if you look at the net worth tab, it's just Invoker at the top, and then you still have the Kitty, the Murano, with that Desolator up now. So once again, Corey out of nowhere with a couple of good items, Desolator as well as the Lincoln Sphere available for him now. So he's doing quite a bit of damage, and that just kind of shows that Zephyr aren't giving up yet, and we could see essentially in terms of kills a comeback. Like, I don't think they're not out of this game completely at all, not even can't even count on it, but they are, yeah, this is going to be probably one of the coolest looking comebacks.
If indeed it is, yeah, this would be the comeback of the century. They looked so bad in the early game. I mean, it was such numbers disadvantage all across the board. They were losing heroes left and right, and in fact, we missed out on one up here as well. Sorry about that, but that was
he was farming ancients. The Sand King walked in, put down this radiant sentry observer ward. They saw him, blinked, got the stun off, used 3 ultis essentially. They used the epicenter, Ice Blast, and the Dream Coil to bring down Corey, which I feel is necessary. I mean, he is sort of maybe the saving grace at the moment alongside their combos on the side of Zephyr, but in terms of raw damage in the big black hole, he is their damage dealer. And so nice little pick up there, and casting a couple of spells to bring him down.
Yeah, if I could throw in my personal opinion, I'd prefer maybe like a Maelstrom or Mjolnir, so you can kind of do that synergetic vacuum wombo combo type thing where you can get a little bit more AoE damage on the field, but singling somebody out and bringing them just 1 or 2 people specifically, target firing them in a black hole isn't the end of the world. So, and Desolator is amazing against Lifestealer, but speaking of, Lifestealer going to jump on Purge, the Force Staff not going to be enough to get him away, as Naki he is the fuel for the fire, setting up kill after kill after kill. And now with this Geometry Sight pickup, they're just going to establish complete map dominance, if it wasn't already. You look at the poor Observer Ward here on the Radiant Ancients, that's all the vision that Zephyr have right now.
Yep, and it's about to die as well, so it's a bit unfortunate there. But Blitz now 6 charges on the Bloodstone, did get a couple after that big team fight, and is going for a Blade Mail now as well, but they are going to lose their second to last. Good rage in time.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Yeah, I mean, they will be able to take out that last outer tier tower. They clean that up nicely, and they set up for a Roche opportunity in the near future. Has Roche fallen once this game? I kind of have a feeling he hasn't.
Nope. Being completely neglected this game. All alone. Look at him facing the wall, all lonely.
Aww. Have they changed his model a little bit? For some reason, I don't remember the flag being so flashy.
The flag?
Like, he's got a spear through him, and he's always had like spears and swords and stuff, but I don't remember it being that evident.
No, I don't remember it. No, you're right. Maybe they added.
They did a lot of cool base map changes in the most recent patch, so that might be one of them. Along with some fishies and different things like that.
They probably just upgraded his model just a little bit. But I remember a while ago they did. But Corey now probably going to go towards. I don't know. He's probably a Manta. Just for a little bit of push, a little bit extra damage. You spoke about the Maelstrom, but
Tarkseer, they have the gem, they have the Abyssal. And that's another clean kill. That is just fueling their momentum. They're moving forward now with oh wow, going even onto Mirana here. He force-staffed her to pop the Lingus Sphere and then landed the Burrow Strike. Very nicely done. But in the end, there's not enough follow-through. And interesting position from Purge here. He's found himself a perch, I suppose.
This yard works out for him.
I don't know, has the Force Staff? Super Aegis Snipe of the Century? I don't know.
Oh wow. That would be that would be insane, but I don't know. He's dropping out arrow on Invoker.
Yeah, I mean, they see what's going on in the pit a little bit. They do get some disable up, but in the end he just has to walk away. And they really can't gear up and get in a good position for all this stuff, and it's getting worse and worse as time goes by until that BKB is finished. Once it's finished, great. Houston has his recipe, just needs the Mithril Hammer. But, for, of course, getting caught out as a result of his antics on the cliff. But, what was I saying? The Invoker has a Scythe of Ice, the Puck has a Scythe of Ice, 2 hexes to just stop black holes again. It's like, essentially this black hole spell might as well not exist while that many disables are on the field. As soon as the BKB is done, all he has to worry about is making sure he's not in abyssal range for the Lifestealer, which is pretty easy. Just send the black hole relatively on yourself. There's no way that he can drop you without being in the black hole. So,
but with that AC now as well, I mean, it's so tanky. I mean, already, I mean, if he wants to, you can ask. I would pick up Sanjayasha just to get super fast. Just, yeah, go for the Sanjayasha, just get absolutely like a real race car and just destroy. Oh, who's he looking for?
Yeah, he's just looking for anybody. He's on the hunt. He's been doing this all game. Really, just a true Scorpion. Going to be claiming of the prey of a little ward in the jungle, using that Geometry Sight to its optimum. And now I think they're just going to go for a 5-man push. I mean, they got the Aegis. They put it on the Lifestealer. They have the Necro 3. They're going to take out this last tower in the mid lane, and from there they should be able to claim the high ground, but we'll have to see. Obviously, it's very difficult to... Oh, wow, actually they're going to find out Corey here. Nice 4-staff movement from Naki, making sure that the German True Sight was in range for that Moonlight Shadow. In the meantime, Blitz is going to get an opening here on TNT. He's probably going to drop down immediately. Can Puck do anything about this? Big vacuum, Black Hole onto 2, but he phase shifts it, and Puck, oh, Burrow Strike onto all of them here. Epicenter charging, Meteor damage coming out, and Zephyr are melting. We do see Enigma popped his BKB, and will try to throw out a couple spells, but blinking away. The Puck and the Ancient Apparitions, the only kills claimed, and now there is huge damage coming out onto Eos, and that's 4 for 2, and a huge opening as Scythe is dropped down onto Purge. Couple right clicks, and yeah, even a simple bash proc. He is gone, down for the count. That is a full 5-man wipe, and a double kill for Superfly. And committing their big level 16 Black Hole with the BKB available. That was their huge cooldown, and although, again, I like their movements with the Moonlight Shadow, knowing that they've moved 3 people to the top lane, it's just the reinforcements were just too quick. Everlast, or specifically Naki, was right back there in the fray moments later. Just controlling this map so well.
And if they want, yeah, they can just stay here and just brute force the space down. I mean, they're so tanky at the moment. There's so many items as well, and it's just, yeah, it's insane. I mean, and is there an Aghanim Scepter on the not yet, but getting very close. Aghanim Scepter. Once that comes on TNT, I mean, it becomes so spammable and annoying because you can't really push in lanes because you just get blasted with that Ice Blast, and then thinking, oh crap, where's the Shanking, where's the Lifestealer, where's anybody actually? They can just blink out of nowhere. I mean, they have, what's it, 3 Blink Daggers on that team. I mean, their mobility is insane in team fights to be able to get there, engage, and it looks like Naki is going for a Necrobook as well, perhaps? No, Fuel Scepter of Divinity. I'm just thinking, well, usually when you see one Necrobook, you're like, oh, well, everyone gets Necrobook and it's just push down towers. But they are grouping up once again, and I like that he's getting inside of Naki and not the Puck for some reason.
Yeah, Corey's probably upset at his teammates right now. They filled up the courier with all this junk. There's no value on half the stuff on this thing, but he just wanted his BKB, and is going to have to drop off an item just to send it around for another jog here, so... He finally has finished his BKB. Took a minute to actually get it there, but what do you really think this Mirana can accomplish? Desolator, Lincoln Sphere, BKB. She certainly doesn't have to worry about the spell spam of Everlast, even immune in technicality to the Abyssal Blade once her BKB's up because of the fact that Lincolns won't be popped by anything. But, I don't know. Is it just just standing and delivering? Will she do enough damage to really make a difference?
Well, the thing about her is that she has the ability to cut the almost dodging on Sunstrike. She has the ability to cut the Lifestealer a little bit since she's ranged, and they can all essentially cut the Lifestealer if they do catch him alone, or if they do wipe off anyone else and he's with them. They can cut him enough to try bring him down. Going for the Desolator as well, decreasing armor, fantastic. She will need the Manta Style, I think, if they do want to maybe apply a little bit of pressure to towers. They have got only two tier 2 towers left on the map, in fact, and they both belong to Everlast, so they could look for a big push. But now that Addison has got that BKB Blink mech and the Black Hole of cooldown on level 3, level 16 as well, so yeah, I think if they can pull up what they did earlier with that massive Black Hole on 4, they can definitely pull this around. I mean, Goldgraph at the moment sitting at 12,000 ahead for Everlast, 15,000 in terms of experience, so they are way ahead. But yeah, they really need a miracle to win this game right now.
Yeah, I mean, the way it played out last time, you usually don't see that kind of a mistake in a game twice. We'll see. The smoke coming out, the pings, they see it coming, and they're going to walk right into a Moonlight Shadow, but they have the gem up, they see everything, they go for the Burrow Strike onto Blitz, they will pin him down, but here comes Eosin, drop the Black Hole onto 2, getting some good damage on the Ancient Apparition now, over to Superfly, but here comes the Epicenter, big damage in from the Sand King, bursting hard, but Purge stole Rage, Purge is tanking through it and force-staffing himself away. They've survived through most of this, only losing 2, which is quite incredible considering the state of affairs, but now we see Purge getting picked off and Sexy Bamboo in a bad spot as well. That is going to be all 5. If Corey does get hit by the Sunstrike, though, definitely dodging, he will survive. Whether or not that's of much value, I don't know. I mean, It looked like I actually might have pulled through by escaping with just a couple of lives lost, but the problem is there's just so much chase potential from Everlast. They've got the blinks, they've got the forces, and they can pursue to the end of the world. So that's essentially where Corey took them to. But now they take out 1 lane of Rax, 2 lanes of Rax, and don't even need to bother for 3 as they have such an advantage right now. Corey going to get pinned down, sheeped up, and that's going to be the death of the carry player. He does not have buyback, gold short, and Blitz are trying to hide in the fountain. Corey calls it GG.
Man, that was insane. I mean, Everlast teamfight once again. We saw a little glimpse in the last game. Just their potential of taking massive teamfights. Game 2, they did the exact same thing. They pick up a really, really great teamfight lineup, and they use it close to perfection. I don't think there were any hiccups besides the puck getting picked off in the early stages, and we kind of saw maybe an opportunity that this game wouldn't be like the second. But yeah, once again, man, insane plays by Everlast, and they set up the series 2-1. And Dota 2 Lounge was putting the bets at, yeah, I think it was like a very, very high percentage in favor of Zephyr. So some people are making a lot of rares of this game, and keys as well. Yeah,
can't underestimate the underdog or the dark horse in this kind of situation. The winners of the tie qualifiers will take their first best of 3 here in the AOC Pro Cup.
Just knockouts?
No, as far as I understand it, usually day 1 I don't have enough info on the tournament format to say that 100%. I think it's double elimination though. Yeah, double elimination, best of 3, and so it looks like Zephyr are going to start off in the lower bracket, unfortunately. But they'll fight their way up. We'll see if we'll see any more of them in the future upper bracket or more significant matches. But for right now, is going to have to separate the wheat from the chaff down in that part of the bracket. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the AOC Pro Cup. Shout out to AOC for their beautiful sponsorship of this amazing event. If you guys want to give them a quick shout out either on their social medias or even consider picking up one of their fine products, they're the ones that are supporting your passion here in esports. So definitely deserve some of that appreciation. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Once again, the AOC Pro Cup and the conclusion of our match. Everlast takes the match 2-1 over Zephyr, and as far as I understand it, that ends their 14-game win streak. So they're going to have to go and analyze a little bit of what went wrong, what they can do to improve if they're going to continue to fight their way through this tournament. But yeah, in the meantime, Everlast feeling pretty strong about taking out the Next in Sponsorship League champions, so pretty nice there. But once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We greatly appreciate your viewership, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the match as much as we did. If you want to look us up for future commentary, you can check us out at twitter.com/blazecasting and twitter.com/CongoKyle. And his Facebook is also facebook.com/CongoZA. And from there, you can send us a message, tweet at us, or if you want to give some feedback, or of course, you can follow or like us to see what we're going to be doing in the near future. But we do sincerely hope that you enjoyed the broadcast, and thank you guys so much for tuning in.